Kaido, one of the most hyped up characters in One Piece history, introduced as the strongest creature alive. The hype surrounding him has been surreal ever since day one. It makes total sense though, like dude was portrayed as probably the strongest out of the 4 emperors, and his first ever appearance was in a chapter titled Side, which is literally him committing and failing one. Like, what better way there is to introduce one of the most anticipated character and even make us more intrigued during the process. And of course, as one of the very few companies who owns the rights and profits of One Piece, Bandai will not miss this chance. Right now in game we have 3 playable versions of Kaido, each one of them got a complete different moveset and playstyle, making it impossible to bunch them all into a video. So today we'll just be focusing on one of them, being my favorite and probably the most complicated one, the Blue Kaido. The reason why I say he's complicated is when you go around and ask for rankings, the answers are always vary. Like some might tell you he's incredibly good, some might tell you he's dog shit, and some might just simply tell you he's mid. And that ended up confusing a lot of new players, especially when all these are true. True. How, you might be wondering? Don't worry, that's why we're here. Let's break it down. Jeez, what the fuck? So first, let's talk about what factors and situations makes him a great character, starting off with the skills. So skill 2, No Escape, a skill with crazy range and max attack up to 5 flags all at once. This was one of the main reasons people freaked out when he first got announced. Even till today, we still haven't got a similar skill that can compete with this range and effect area. The damage on the skill is also much bigger than we would normally assume, since it already has a crazy range, but accumulated damage of the skill can add up to a total of 702, which is an insane amount for how big of a range it has. And with the skill 1, Blast Breath, a skill upon double charge gives out 30% attack buff and reaches extra long range opponents. And again, with accumulated damage, he can deal up to 721 damage. Having incredible damage on both skills is super helpful when it comes to defenders, since normally they only have one. And now let's combine skills with the traits so I can understand his full potential. Kaido brings a unique mechanic into the game, being able to overcharge a flag up to 150%, which is already huge on its own. Attackers would take ages trying to capture one. But he also got another trait coming with it, being whenever he charges 20% of a flag, he gains 10% defense boost. That means 2 flags will give him a max of 70% defense boost. And at that point, over 90% of the characters can't even hurt him, since he also heals whenever the damage received is below 10% of his health. So of course, with all these advantages combined, he's gonna be unkillable. But the thing is, that's only the tip of the iceberg. You see, for all the strength that I've just mentioned, he got an equal amount of flaws with them. So now, let's talk about why is he bad. Starting again with his skills first. So for his skill 2, sure, it does have a crazy range and great damage, but the problem is, it's really hard to hit. The skill itself takes roughly around 4 seconds to complete, and before the fireballs drop, shadows will appear in the treasure area indicating to the opponents that fireballs are dropping. And you might be like, sure, at least the opponents will have to dodge it and that makes them drop the flag, right? You see, there are 3 fireballs for each treasure area, and King takes more than 3 hits if you want him to even care about it. So that means in a game where this is supposed to be an OP skill, when the clutch is up and wins you games, now it just literally don't work. And imagine how frustrating it can be, not just for one time, but in multiple sessions. Don't even mention the skill itself was already a free perfect dodge for any player that been playing longer than a month. Now, let's talk about a skill 1. This skill is so close to being perfect, I would even go as far as giving up a skill 2 just to make this skill to actually work. Yes, actually work. Since this skill has a big problem, that it also doesn't hit. While Blast Breath is a skill that requires Kaido to turn into a dragon firing a beam blast out in front of him. That means during the process, the opening beneath them will always be a safe place for the opponent to just hide it. This design has been here since day one, it's just people weren't sure if this is really a reliable strat. But now everyone knows it, pretty much make this skill completely useless when the opponents are close to you. And with them relying on the skills to keep the opponents in the distance without teammate support, sooner or later, the opponents will get to you. But his skills though are not even the main reason that makes the bad character people says. Let's talk about his traits. So one of the appealing aspects he brings is the ability to charge the flag up to 150%, but has anyone ever wondered, is it even worth it, or is it even that good of a trait? I did, so I went in and did this test. As the Discord member to bring out his king, both of us got no support, no medals. We went and tested out how much time it takes for me to charge up a flag and how long it takes for him to take it down. And the results, y'all can just see it for yourself. For me to completely charge up a flag, it took roughly 18 seconds. And for him to take it down, it took about 9. So yeah, I lied. It's actually about 16 seconds. But if you think about it, like 9 seconds though, it's still shorter than cool.
Shut the f up, no one cares. Know your f***ing place, trash.
But nah, for real though, like, if you think about it, 9 seconds is so short, shorter than the countdown. Doing it alone too, like, it's still pretty crazy. And now, I know some of y'all might think, at least you stalled the extra 2 seconds. Sure, if this wasn't his selling point, this Kaido's appeal was his crazy skill range, defense buff, and overcharging a flag. But turns out, 2 of them are practically useless. One of Big Mom got 3 attacks with decent range alongside a runner mode, charging a flag to 150%, ignoring the opponents. And she's a cheaper unit. Of course we're gonna say this Kaido's trash, but that ain't the end though. We still got the last and probably the worst one to go through, his defense. Now, even with all those flaws I've mentioned, it would still be fine if he can be a tanky defender and just stay alive. But of course, since I'm mentioning it here, that means a no. With even 70% defense boost, running a full defense build, characters can still do crazy damage to me. Like, to be fair, mainly Roger and Shanks, but let's be honest, ain't no way in hell they want me to build up defense boost the whole game and ended up having being a non-factor. Like, sure, 90% of the characters literally can do no damage, but when team boost hits, that's a whole nother story, cause in this game there ain't no such thing as defense team boost, but attack, oh there are plenty. So all of a sudden, everyone cooking. The damage difference is so absurd it can't even be ignored. Like, I get it, player needs to at least have a way to take him out, but not like this. Like how they were doing single digit damage and now all of a sudden they're frying me. I'd rather have him not be so overpowered in normal situations than having him being a part-time. Like, how am I supposed to accept this? A character that can have no skills, charging up flags for the whole game and building up his defense boost just to get one shot by a random casually walking by, and having their treasures getting taken in split seconds. Upon all that, this character takes months saving gems. Like, what the fuck? Of course we're gonna say he's trash. Of course we're gonna clown on him. Like, damn, bro. I got so infuriated shit on him, almost forgot I gotta explain why he's also mid. So here, combine all advantage and disadvantage that he has. Most of the experienced players ended up just playing him how he's supposed to be played, a support type character. A follow-up, meaning since he can't really carry a team when you're down on flags, all he can do is just stay behind and charge them the flags, fire some blasts, fireballs here and there, have your teammates out for a bit, and at last probably get killed because the opponents got their bullshit team boost, and finally ended up with a mid-ass score depending on if your team's good or not. And that's pretty much the life cycle of Blue Kaido. You'll notice that 90% of the games you win, you're getting carried, and even when you're scoring high, there's gonna be at least 1 or 2 teammates that score better than you. In the games you lost, you're often with the highest score on your team. This happens a lot when you're playing defenders, because most of them just can't really push at all. That's why when it comes to characters like Owen, I praise him a lot. And even though most defenders got the same issue, but combined with all the problems, especially defensive skill and issue that he has, it's really hard to enjoy using him. So yeah, hopefully this video explains it for y'all, why is there so many different opinions on the Blue Kaido. And for me personally, after playing him ever since he's out, I'm gonna give him a ranking of A. A pretty decent but insanely overpriced character. If he's a bounty fest, I might just let him slide, but god damn, it's just unreasonable. And I'm not making this video to criticize the character, and definitely not the people who enjoys playing with him. I'm only making this video to let people understand more about this character and where he sort of lands in the tier list. So hope y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all do, you feel me? Like, I don't really have the energy no more. Making this video is really killing me. Like, I'ma just see y'all next time, man. Peace.